Hello, everyone. Heart disease is the biggest killer, and we don't yet know how COVID has added to that burden. Today, we have with us Dr. Sriram Nene, who's a cardiovascular and thoracic surgeon, healthcare innovator, and he's also a social media influencer who will be talking to us about COVID, heart health, and our general well being. Let's get started. Last time we had spoken was somewhere mid of 2020 when we were still getting to know COVID more, and we speak now when there's a new variant of concern here which has baffled people. We were going back to our usual lives, and again now there's this threat. What do you have to say about it?
So I can tell you that this thing came out just a few days ago, and the WHO was very quick to label it as a variant of concern, mainly because there were some pretty significant mutations in the surface protein, which would give the antibody response from your body. But having said that, those are laboratory findings, and it seems to me like everyone's panicking, and I can't say whether that's necessary or not. I don't think we should. Why I'm saying that is very simple, that it'll take 2 to 3 weeks to know whether this is more transmissible, whether it evades immune systems, and more importantly, whether it causes ICU admissions and or higher mortality. So my feeling is that, there's 3 things. One is we need to stay the course. We need to get everyone immunized, because if you think about it, if there's no more hosts who have naive immune systems, what I mean by that is, if you look at India, for instance, our 4th sero survey, which was done in June, July, suggested that over 67% of Indians have antibodies. And obviously that is a representative survey, so it's not actuals, but nevertheless, that can be higher in some places than others. And also what it showed is that if you had 1 immunization, 81% of the people had antibodies. And if you had 2, it was up to 89%. My point being that if the disease doesn't have a host, then you can't get mutations because it can't replicate. And so the key to this is getting everyone vaccinated in a hurry. And in India in particular, while we've got 1.1 billion people vaccinated, which is an amazing feat anywhere on the planet, very proud of that, we still need to get, which constitutes about 71% of first shots, or a little bit more than that. Only 23% or so have second vaccinations. So in order to get to that 89% antibody rate, we really, really need to get people to get their second vaccinations. And now to go one step further, in the US as well as other places, they're finding, at least with the mRNA vaccines, that we have waning immunity and that we need to get booster shots on their way. And so I know Adar Poonawalla has applied for the 3rd booster shot after the Covishield. And I imagine with Covaxin, it's the same. The key to all of this is we just don't know with this new variant as to what the implications are. I think my own view is that we need to be vigilant. We need to do the same things, which is put up our mask, distance, maintain social kind of protocols with bubbles and things like that. What I'm seeing is, and I'm sure you are too, is that everything is sort of resumed. And honestly, all of us are tired. 2 years in this. I think all of us are frustrated and tired. I think the other thing to say is India needs to quickly get our kids vaccinated. In the US, it's from 5 to 18 now. We need to quickly get that on board here, because a whole generation, 2 years of kids, are not a generation, but 2 years of kids are not getting proper schooling. In some cases, they're not getting their lunchtime meals. In many cases, and so you've got a cascade, and in children and whatnot, they're not getting an education. And so my feeling is, in order to do that and get the country back, vaccination is going to be the key. The second thing is, I think we as citizens need to be vigilant, and we need to join hands and say, look, I recognize that we need to be socialized, but be smart about it, right? Don't go to crowded gatherings without masks. Avoid unnecessary social interactions, avoid unnecessary travel. I mean, we're not done. And between you and me, I think 6 months to a year before, we get a significant number of people fully vaccinated. And when we reduce the pool of hosts, this disease becomes endemic, meaning it goes from the pandemic stage to a state where it is there as virus, but we no longer have naive immune systems and we just get it. And it's like any other cold or flu that you might get, you'll get it, but you won't get severely ill or die.
When the pandemic started, there were lockdowns, and we had also discussed the last time how people, diagnosis suffered, treatment suffered because people were scared to go to the hospital. You were even then talking about automating healthcare, and now you've started something new. Please tell us about it.
So we're working hard. We're seeding enterprises as well as developing something. This pandemic has added a tailwind to all the efforts, because what it's done is it has galvanized or focused people on the fact that you can get some of your care, at least triage into that. But the simple truth is this, that the gap is people lack awareness and access to world-class evidence-based medicine. And what we're working on is to give people the ability to take care of themselves by getting educated via media, which is both entertaining and educational. And that comes from the background we have in films and in storytelling and in whatnot, where we can entertain and educate people through technology, which basically takes out all of your medical history, puts it in one place which you own in a secure register, which doesn't rely on your phones. It's a blockchain enabled, AI enabled electronic medical record, and then adds IoT devices, Internet of Things devices, which track your heart rate, your temperature, all of these variables. And then it takes your medical history, your genetics, your family history, your socioeconomic background, and figures out what you're at risk for using the AI. And then subsequently, what it does is it plugs you into our service provider modules where we do evidence-based care. And so you know what you're getting before you get it. And some of that is the awareness. One great example, and I'm doing a piece on Omicron, but I'm also doing another piece in a separate thing on my YouTube channels and on Reels on heart disease in young people, because there's been some very dramatic deaths lately. But to be honest, it's not a new problem. Heart disease is the #1 killer, non-infectious killer in the world, and not just in India. And I think India has numerous papers which suggest that males in particular, below the age of 50, have a higher risk, 10 years younger than the rest of the world. And even in women, we also know that a lot of times their symptoms are there, but they're atypical. And in all patients, 20% maybe. So the key is, if we can educate people to their risk factors, identify who needs to come in sooner, and move the pendulum from acute care to prevention, early recognition, early treatment, then the idea is we can potentially save lives and improve lifestyles and change the happiness equation, right? To make people, because honestly, you realize that when it's it doesn't matter, when it's a person who succumbs to this, it is, devastating to the family. And in some cases, particularly if it's the patriarch or even the matriarch these days, financially it can lead to bankruptcy, but more than that, it changes the whole educational scheme. And the only way for India to move forward is to take care of this stuff in a prospective manner. In other words, ahead of time, rather than a natural history study, which is how it is right now, that in the Gao or even in the cities, people come to care only when they need it. And the way it should be is if we can alert them and sort of get their antenna up and say, look, this is something you need to worry about. Let's get you in, let's treat your underlying illnesses, and let's get you moving on the path to better health. And it doesn't have to be a gimmick. It doesn't have to be a high price formula. It just needs to be us coming together. And so what we're trying to do is start a dialogue, and then from there, bring everyone together on one page.